Many women believe alcohol makes them more confident. It helps them loosen up at social events, speak more freely, or feel less self conscious in a room full of people. But the kind of confidence alcohol creates is temporary. It's dependent on an intoxicated state. And when that state fades, the confidence often fades with it. Real confidence is something we build over time through experience, self trust, and learning that we can navigate life exactly as we are. And that's what we're going to discuss in today's episode of the Pink Cloud Frequency. I am your host, Brianna Wynn. Thank you so much for joining me today. And really quick, before we get into it, I just want to say thank you so much to all of the listeners of this show. I noticed on the stats, there's listeners in Europe, Asia, South America. That is so fascinating to me. So thank you guys so much. Please consider, following the Pink Cloud Frequency on social media, or if you want to connect, just shoot me an email. Okay, so let's move forward. Not only are we going to discuss what true confidence actually looks like in your alcohol-free life, but at the end of the episode, I will share 5 easy ways you can build your confidence without alcohol. So make sure you stay for that. First, let's jump right into the science. Your prefrontal cortex is the area in your brain right behind your forehead that's responsible for your judgment, your decision-making, your ability to self-monitor, your emotional regulation, your social awareness, your impulse control, and your long-term thinking. That region of your brain is what allows you to pause before speaking, choose when to speak or not to speak, choose your words carefully when you decide to speak, make eye contact intentionally, read a room and assess situations accurately, say no without over-explaining, pick up on nonverbal communication, make decisions that are aligned with your core values, to use your discernment. Your prefrontal cortex is the executive functioning center of your brain. But because alcohol is a depressant, the first area it suppresses is your prefrontal cortex. When this region becomes less active, now what happens? You don't pause before speaking. You don't know when it's appropriate to speak or not to. You don't choose your words carefully when you decide to speak. You don't make eye contact intentionally. You can't read a room and assess situations accurately. You don't pick up on nonverbal communication. Your decisions aren't always aligned with your core values. And you don't practice that discernment. So let's say you are at a sports tournament for your child. You're in another state for the weekend and the whole team is staying at the same hotel. But only a few of the parents are there because, some of them had to stay behind to take care of their other children. So you're all in the stands together, but you're not really saying too much of anything. And in between games, there's an expectation that you'll spend time with the team and the parents and the coaches. So let's say everyone goes out to eat at a restaurant. When you walk into the restaurant, you notice that the kids have their own separate table, and then the parents and the coaches have theirs. So you already start to notice the dynamic when you walk in that small conversations are already happening amongst the parents. People are laughing, and you feel that moment of social uncertainty. Where should you sit? What should you say? And that is guided by your overall fear of, will you be able to fit into this group? So at first, you feel slightly awkward. You don't know how to initiate conversations, and however you try to feels forced. So you order your first beverage as soon as the server comes over. And once you get that alcohol in you, your shoulders start to relax. That self-consciousness you had when you walk in, that starts to soften a bit. And as the night progresses and you drink more, You start talking more freely. You become a little louder. You laugh a bit harder. You start slurring your words. You may interrupt conversations without realizing it. You'll do anything to keep talking throughout the night to avoid any awkward silence. So you may even overshare personal details of your life. And in that moment, that might feel like boldness or even freedom or fearlessness. You may be paying less attention to what anyone thinks of you. But that's not true confidence, is it? No, it's your brain activity being subdued. You're less self-conscious because what you're experiencing in that moment is state dependent. It requires the substance of alcohol to maintain. It's performative. So just because you feel less self-conscious and your inner critic quiets down and your fear of rejection dulls, that doesn't make you more confident. Because if it did, and you were truly confident in that moment, then why do you wake up the next morning in the hotel thinking to yourself, was I too much? Did I say something I shouldn't have? Did that story land the way I thought it did? Will they remember every personal detail I shared? When I see them this morning, should I even bring up the conversation we had last night? All you've done is undermine your self-trust, which erodes your confidence in the long term. Because true confidence is not state dependent. True confidence is consistent. It shows up in the morning when you wake up, not just at night after you drank multiple beverages. True confidence is built from self-trust, from knowing you can handle situations and conversations and decisions and adverse emotions without needing something external to change how you feel. True confidence comes from within. So believe it or not, you can be social without abandoning your values. You can be warm and welcoming without overexposing yourself. You can be funny and charming without performing. You can exude real confidence by being yourself. When you remove alcohol, confidence doesn't disappear. No. Now your confidence has room to grow. When you are comfortable being yourself, that kind of confidence is magnetic. Because when you are alcohol free, you are clear. You are grounded. You are emotionally present. You are sharp. You practice discernment. You don't second guess yourself. You are authentic. You are self-assured and poised and stable. You have a memory that is intact. So now, back to that tournament example, rather than relying on a beverage to be social for that event, now you rely on your own inner confidence and comfort to be able to socialize. And you don't have that fear. So now you begin talking to the parents whenever you see them, not just at tournaments. You choose to sit next to them in the stands at the regular games. You cheer together. When the game is over, you listen to the conversations around you and you join in on them when it feels authentic to do so. You may inquire about something other than the game, but you initiate communication rather than stand off to the sidelines or standing off on your phone. You start to get to know people naturally. And you're going to do that from a place of authenticity. And I know it does require practice, of course. And if that's new to you, try using the acronym FORD, FORD, which stands for family, occupation, recreation, dreams. When you're initiating conversation on any one of those subjects, that will help you to not feel so lost. And eventually, those same environments that once felt uncomfortable, they start to feel completely normal to you. And when you keep showing up as yourself, honestly, openly, without trying to perform or hide in the corner, a shift starts to happen. You learn to communicate better. You become more present in conversations and in your interactions. You listen better. You express yourself more authentically. And you start trusting your voice a little bit more each time. And the ironic thing is, confidence doesn't come before those moments. Confidence is built through those moments. It grows through the repetition of showing up and realizing you can handle whatever happens next. Psychology actually has a name for that process, and it's called self-efficacy, a concept developed by psychologist Albert Bandura. Self-efficacy is the belief that you are capable of handling challenges and influencing outcomes in your own life. And that's not something you're born with, it's something you build. Bandura's research on self-efficacy shows that confidence grows when people repeatedly experience mastering challenges. So your past successes. And you experience confidence when you are modeling behavior, when you see other people around you succeed. And then your confidence also grows when you learn to manage your emotions and handle those stressful situations. And mastering those types of experiences, that's the primary driver of your true confidence. But alcohol interrupts that process because it creates the illusion of confidence rather than actual mastery. When you navigate social situations and stress, parenting challenges, and emotional moments without alcohol, you start accumulating evidence that you can handle life. So now imagine waking up in the morning feeling calm and clear. Okay, guys, so sorry about that text message. That was my son, and I'm cracking up to myself because he just sent me a photo. He went to Dunkin' Donuts and ordered a coffee roll, and they literally gave him a coffee roll with bites taken out of it. And I'm laughing to myself here. So anyway. Okay, so imagine waking up in the morning feeling calm and clear, right? Not chaotic. You have the energy for your morning routines. Maybe you journal, you write out a gratitude list, maybe you stretch, or you read out your daily affirmations in the mirror. You wake up your children. You have patience, so you help them start their day with ease. Maybe you cook them a breakfast or pack their school lunch. On the drive in, they confide in you that they've been having a little bit of trouble with a couple classmates at school. So you share your thoughts on how you best think that they should handle the situation. And then you see them off to school safely. Now you drive to work, and when you arrive, you're well prepared and you feel self-assured. You're mentally energized and you don't wish your day away. This allows you to be centered and diligent with your clients. You're able to communicate thoughtfully and respectfully. You are able to produce ideas that are measurable and have reliable outcomes. Maybe you go to the gym on your way home from work, or you get some errands done. But whatever you decide to do, you are motivated to get it done today because you don't have to push it off until tomorrow. You get home, and then let's say you prepare a nice dinner for your family, or maybe someone else in the family does the cooking. You try a new non-alcoholic beverage if that's what you have the taste for. But you don't rely on drinks to socialize over your meal. You don't count down until you can numb out. You remain emotionally present while your family opens up about their day. And then maybe your child thanks you for giving them that great advice in the morning. Let's say that night one of your kids has a sports game or a school event. So you shower again, you get ready, you show up, you engage in conversation with other parents easily. You maintain eye contact. You don't need to go grab drinks after, but you're happy to get dessert with them and the kids when it's over. And then you drive home safely. You do your nightly routines. Maybe read your child a book or meal prep for the next couple of days. You make sure your older child has their homework done. You review the day with your family. And then after that, you do your nightly skincare routine, or you do some meditation. You have some tea, you read a book, or maybe you call a friend. Maybe you just veg out on the couch watching your favorite show. But by the time you lay down in bed at night, you are regulated. You remember everything that happened. You are physically and mentally well. You get a restful sleep. And every single day, you live some variation of that day where you can be yourself and feel good in your skin and make choices consistent with your values. And that consistency establishes trust, which develops your confidence, which helps you lead better as a woman, a mother, a friend, a worker. You show up for yourself and for the people around you. You are emotionally regulated. You handle challenges calmly. You set boundaries firmly. You communicate thoughtfully. You now have the capacity to live your day as you see fit. You stop managing and organizing your days around your next beverage. You start investing in yourself, in the people you love. That is true confidence. Knowing who you are, what you want, what you're doing, what you're saying, and where you're going. The most confident women are the ones who are calm and comfortable in their own skin. A woman who is clear and grounded and walks in her purpose, who has the courage within to make the most of her life. Real confidence is built through all of those small habits, and over time it develops. So before you go, I want to share with you 5 small ways you can build your confidence without alcohol. Number 1, practice good posture. Sit up straight. Adjust your driver's seat in your car. Put a pillow behind your back in your work chair or when you're at your laptop. Stand tall when you walk. This helps your physiological state. This helps you feel alert and capable and in control. Number 2, practice eye contact. Maintain steady eye contact throughout your conversations with your family and friends or your boss. Hold eye contact for that extra couple seconds when it may otherwise feel uncomfortable to do so. Put your phone down and truly engage in the conversations that you're in, because this communicates presence and self-assurance. Number 3, learn to speak thoughtfully and not so quickly. Learn to pause before responding, to speak clearly and calmly, and not from a place of emotional reactivity. Less is more when you're speaking, right? It's not how much you say, but how you say it that carries the weight. because people remember how you made them feel and not exactly the words that you said. Number 4, keep promises to yourself. Start small. Wake up at the time you said you would wake up. No negotiations. If it's 6 a.m., set your alarm for 6 a.m. and get out of bed. Go for a walk or follow through on that fitness class you swore yourself you would. But the goal here is to remind yourself that you can rely on yourself. And number 5, do one slightly uncomfortable thing each day. Introduce yourself to someone new or share an idea at work, maybe compliment a stranger or say no to a family member. Speak up during that parent-teacher conference. Set a clear boundary with your child and follow through on it. But confidence grows through exposure, and each small step you take that feels uncomfortable at first, it expands your comfort zone. So confidence isn't built in these big dramatic moments, right? Real confidence is something you build over time through experience, self-trust, and learning that you can navigate life exactly as you are. So for your reflection today, ask yourself, is your confidence being built from within? And what changes are you starting to make in your life as a result of your newfound confidence? So thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate all of you who've already subscribed to the show. If you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? And also, please consider leaving a 5-star written review because that helps women like yourself find this show. So new episodes drop every Wednesday. I will talk to you soon.